Bill Maher's on The View, right? There's a couple clips that we have. I want to first play this one. Which one do you have? Do you have only one of them, or do you have a couple of them?
I only have the one. This is where they debate the term woke.
Is this where he goes off?
How long is this one here, Rob?
It's 5 minutes, but we can stop it. They get right into it right off the bat.
Okay, go for it. Play the clip.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left? But don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dead silence because they're not
joke.
Too
dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that, because I think you're almost a free speech absolutist. You believe totally in the right to say what you believe. But I think a lot of us were disturbed to see terrorist flags being waved on American college campuses, and seeing this a generation that some I think genuinely care about the plight of the Palestinians. I think most Americans do, but some who seem to be embracing a terrorist organization over the nation of Israel. What do you make of this moment? What do you think it's a result of? How do we fix it?
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values. I mean, women have this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community.
Yes.
You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens at best.
Are you at all concerned about the
You can pause
innocent...
that, Rob. Reaction. Dan, what are you thinking?
Well, first, everybody gets trapped into this woke trap. I see it now on the left. The left is always like, well, define what woke is, and they try to put these folks on the right in a box. And I say pretty simply, it's basically the idea that this white male patriarchy is the source of all power, and that knowledge is therefore seeded from that. So you should question everything. But it goes back to what you and I discussed before. There's a reason they do that, and the left needs a reason to challenge anything objective that challenges their worldview. You will get all of your values from the government. So anything you know to be true, if you're a man of faith, that there's a God, that a man's a woman a woman, that there should be a father and a mother at home, things you know by nature to be true, the left challenges it. So they make up this lie that there's this white male patriarchy, which is this kind of amorphous blob. And this patriarchy is the source of power, and knowledge is a construct of that. So any knowledge you have, like 2 + 2 = 4, is to be challenged because it came from this patriarchy. And that's why you get things like the war on math. Again, none of this stuff is accidental. So when he's talking about woke and the evolution of woke, he's not kidding, because the liberals have this problem now. The liberals never get you to vote for them, okay? They don't. Just look at nobody runs on liberalism. No one. I mean, on hardcore liberals. I'm not talking about Democratic stuff. Nobody runs on like, hey, man, cops are really terrible. They don't put that on the campaign sign. They believe it, the far left.
sure.
Right? Nobody runs on like a government bureaucrat should tell you when to get your heart cracked open. And nobody runs on, I want 90% tax rates. They don't. Matter of fact, when Bernie Sanders tried to run on it, that's how we got Joe Biden, because they wanted to get rid of him. So what do? The left doesn't get you to vote for them. They get you to vote against the other guy. So that's why the racist cudgel's been so valuable to them for so long. Don't vote for Dan Bongino, Vincent, or Tom, or anyone else. You guys are all racist.
Racist.
And it worked.
Yep.
The problem now is the democratization of media. People see through the bullshit. They can just go to Twitter or Truth or anywhere else and see videos of us talking. They're like, that guy don't sound racist to me. Matter of fact, he's talking about courting the black vote. So what Bill Maher's getting at, to sum this thing up, is he's like, woke has evolved because the liberals had to create new victims that aren't there. Mm-hmm. If you're a young black man in America today, could you encounter racism? Of course. Is the likelihood of it compared to, say, the 50s? It's geometrically lower. I mean, it's not even close. So what do? They got to keep telling you, no, everybody hates you, especially those conservatives. And that's what he's talking about. That's why the woke left has gone crazy. He's not wrong.
Oh, and by the way, one of, hands down, and I'm being dead serious, one of the worst shows ever in the history that it's even running this long is The View. Even Sunny Hostin, you know the girl that's sitting on the right? She was on a show recently. It was on PBS. Have you seen the show, Dan? It's called Finding Your Roots. And this girl is all for reparations. Just like you said, Dan, everybody's freaking racist. Turns out she found out from the show that her family owned slaves. And she's an advocate of the reparations, stuff like that. So I think she should practice what she preaches. She should give reparations as well.
You have the video.
Rob, I sent you that video on Slack, and while he's looking for that one, and Dan, you'll get a kick out of this one.
Is this it?
No, this is Angela Davis. I'll let him play the blood. Tell you what happened. This is Angela Davis, civil rights activist, former Black Panther. She discovers on this show that her ancestors were white colonists who arrived in America on the Mayflower, and guess what? They owned slaves. Play this, please. So,
any idea what you're looking at? That is a list of the passengers on the Mayflower.
No, I can't believe this. No.
Oh, yeah.
My ancestors did not come here on the Mayflower.
Your ancestors came on the Mayflower.
No.
You are descended from one of the 101 people who sailed on the Mayflower.
Oof. Yeah, that hurts, huh?
That's a little bit too much to deal with right now.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that you may have descended from people who laid the foundation for this country?
Never.
So that means reparations will never go to her.
Because somebody on Twitter said she's an openly Marxist professor at the University of California. She found out, that they're white racist colonizers. She's been teaching against them her entire life. Not that, she's a descendant of a slave owner, so she should owe reparations too. Do you have the video of Sunny Hostin?
I'm looking for it right now.
I just sent it to you on Slack.
I knew Sunny, man, at CNN. We spent time in green rooms. She wasn't always this crazy, but I think the thing about The View, where you're right, what bothers me about The View is not that they're left. Bill Maher's left. He's got a successful show. Sometimes he says crazy shit. Sometimes he doesn't. The thing that irks me about The View, I'm taking away from the reparations thing, but what irks me about The View is they're just dumb. They say dumb things. I'm Joy Behar is really like a clinical moron. Alyssa Farah is like a fake conservative. She's just looking she's just looking for clout or whatever.
Yeah, they need that position. They have to have somebody.
Sonny, who's supposed to be a lawyer, who makes so many I've been on the air 10 years.
Yeah.
I've had to make 2 corrections on minor stuff. And one was a chart I didn't even know was on the screen of my damn show. Someone threw it in after in production.
Yeah.
Sonny says she has to come out and correct stuff all the time. These people are idiots. And just on that reparations clip, though, with Angela Davis, think about it. This is what happens when you compartmentalize people into boxes that don't exist.
I love it.
Race is a marginal thing. Mm-hmm. Who's black? There's no black gene. There's no white gene. It's a marginal thing. And when you treat people like, black, white guy bad, and then you find out oh, man, the white guy, listen, I took a 23andMe. I was kind of surprised, I really,
Yeah.
you don't, this is insane. Good, bad. I thought the whole idea was supposed to be this melting pot, like we're human beings. And this is what happens. Oh, look, you're on the Mayflower. What?
Yeah. No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what am I going to do? Pay myself reparations?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
insane.
And Pat, can we see this one? This is a very, very short
Go
one.
for it.
This is Sonny Hostin finding out her family owned slaves.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was. My family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Brother, I never saw that. The Davis thing, I never saw that before with Sonny.
And I'm so happy that you said that. Everybody talks this, all the divisiveness. Nobody checks the stats. Really, step back because they're out there and they're being the forefront of all this, pushing this hate and divisive attitude. Come to find out, your ancestors owned slaves. So I think all these people, that's all they're doing, Dan, is just keeping us apart. Love always wins, but these people, they don't make money. They can't. That show doesn't exist if they're not anti-us and anti-everything, and Trump is Hitler. That's their whole freaking job.
It's boiled down for me over the years so simply. And, I read an old article that was written by Ann Coulter, and it was on her website, and it wasn't like a bombastic argument where Ann would go on some show and have some argument. And she pointed out, she says, look, from a typically conservative point of view, you're going to come with logics and facts, and you respectfully think the other side is wrong. But when you're faced with emotions and factless, then they inherently feel that you're evil. You're not wrong, you're evil. And you're bad is to categorize it. And when people's worldview, these are people that think, I'm good, you're bad. And then when given a fact that's incontrovertible, like a 23andMe, man, you just look how it messes with their head. Whereas a conservative person is going to say, wait, let me see that again. Because you inherently accept facts that change, not just narratives, but your point of view on something. You say, oh, and that you're defending an athlete for something. Then you see the video. You say, you know what? That's indefensible. He was hitting his wife. I can't defend that. And they step off it. And it's just amazing to me. The View is this cesspool of factless, emotional, you are bad, this is evil. And you see when a conservative, remember when Bill O'Reilly was on there 12 years ago? Oh my gosh. And he was trying to go back to fact, and they wouldn't let him. They would move off the fact to move over here, move off the fact to move over here. And I think that's what you're seeing. I think it's so interesting when confronted with facts that they just kind of...
It's great. It's great to see. So I want to go to the next story here with my...
Wait, can I bring in one last point on what you just said? Summed up this way beautifully, man. Conservatives think liberals are people with bad ideas. Don't ever forget that. Liberals think conservatives are bad people with ideas.
Wow.
And that's why whatever you're for, they're against. They don't care about the idea. They care about what you just said. You're a bad person, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Rob, can you do me a favor, Rob? So May 31st, next week, Friday night, lights, Dave Smith against Chris Cuomo. Holy moly. This event will be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The VIP sold out. I think we got a few the second tier. General, there's a couple left as well. If you're wanting to come, some interesting guests are coming on because they want to see this live, period. There's going to be some fireworks, but at the same time, the fact that they're talking, it's going to be exciting. I think even Dave yesterday with Rogan, they were talking about this thing coming up on a recent podcast Dave did with Chris. And Chris recently interviewed who was it? The CDC, Vinny. Who was the person that Chris had on that we played a clip? So even Chris is going deeper into it to expose some of the challenges from the COVID community, and that's gone viral. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. For some of you guys that haven't yet, Rob, if you can go back to the QR code for people that want to get registered, go to the QR code to get your tickets. Next Friday night, all of us are going to be there, May 31st. And at the same time, you can go to 5990live.com for the people that are listening on Spotify and Apple, 5990live.com. Get your ticket. We'll see you there next Friday, May 31st, 6 to 9.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.